What's up, heathens? How ya doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Today we have a clip from a TikTok live I did where I was asking people about the historicity of Jesus, as well as God and other topics. Today's caller is Jay Baden, and he is going to be discussing his own thoughts on faith, belief, and the nature of truth. He seems to think that people living in different societies at different points in time come to their own conclusions as to what is true. Just like many other callers that I've had from TikTok, Jay Baden is going to struggle to provide evidence for his beliefs and prefer to rely on his own personal whims for believing in Jesus. So, if you would like to fuck around and find out how Jay Baden justifies believing in not only Jesus but God because of his feels, then please stay tuned.
All right, next we've got, what is that, Jay Baden? Hey there, Jay. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your age?
39.
What are your pronouns?
Whatever you'd like to call me, whatever you believe, but I guess.
So if I said he's wrong, would that be correct? Or if I said she's wrong, would that be correct?
I've been called worse, but I'm not either one.
What do you mean by worse? Like, is it bad to be called a woman compared to a man?
No, but for some people it is, even in those communities.
All right, what would you consider? That's what I'm asking you. Is what would you consider yourself? What would you say he's wrong, or would you say she's wrong?
Probably just because I grew up with it.
Okay, right. This is third grade kind of grammar shit. Him is what you're going with. That's what we're going to go with. Thank you so much. Now, do you agree with anything that we've talked about or any of the topics that I've got listed above?
I would agree with everything you're talking about. I was thinking about mostly the semi-automatics and the automatics and the bolt actions too, but I was for the Jesus doesn't exist thing, or does exist. I was thinking about how people, like, there can be actual truth outside of our individual's understanding or our collective connected understanding. And I was trying to think about stuff like that, because a group of people can believe something to be true and another group of people can believe something to be true. But I was just trying to think of societies when they learned that what they believed in wasn't as true as what they thought. Do you get what I'm trying to say at all?
Okay.
Are you talking about the removal of a belief system in an economy?
Not. That's a good one. Not really. I was thinking more like when certain societies or religions or churches or countries or areas or kingdoms learned on their own or by force or not by force, not that certain ways of living could be better, or they fought for their thing and then passed away for it, but the elders were like, we should probably live better. Kings have always had the idea that they didn't really treat peasants or people good, and that's what even some Christians do, even though they're not supposed to do it, or people. But I mean, that's basic knowledge, right? We're not. But the point is when you said Jesus, or when you said something about how Jesus doesn't exist, I was thinking about how each person understands Jesus or their own understanding. Like, when someone says, I like Fords, you sort of can hear what they know about Fords, or what they know about a sport, or what they know about a hobby. And like, the idea is there's always someone that knows more, but not in the way that they're better just because they have more knowledge. And I know if there's any Christians here, you're not supposed to search for that, but all I'm saying is, like, if I hear someone say I like Fords and they only know F-150s, and I know 350s and all the cars, and then maybe even the developmental engineering that goes into engines and all that other stuff. Generally speaking, like sometimes I want to go, hey, here's some other Ford models and stuff like that. So like to say Fords don't exist.
I'm so sorry, Jay. I don't know how this actually applies to the conversation that we're having. So, like, what do you mean by like there's different versions of Jesus? Do you think that there's a Jesus that's different than like what the New Testament portrays?
He's talking about a different kind of Trinity. So there's Christians who believe in one God.
Sort of. What I was mostly trying to get at, Assassin, is how in some churches the belief in faith or Jesus expresses themselves in an individual, even if they are connected to a church.
Right.
So how those.
Okay, so what I'm more curious about, Jay, is like, what do you believe about Jesus and God?
Oh, okay. I mean, I come from a very sort of strict background, but a very lenient background at the same time. I go to Christian Reformed Church right now, but
I'm not sure what that means. What is a Christian Reformed Church?
They believe giving people Jesus is always a good thing. They have a high responsibility as being teachers and governors of the land, and they also, in a nutshell, and this is like saying like a Chevy has an engine. It's like saying they believe in faith alone, which, depending on your knowledge, faith can be great and big, but I'm guessing Jesus doesn't necessarily see it that way, but he is able to, because it supposedly says God knows all things, and I don't know all things, but like as I've grown and learned more math or more social studies, or I've grown and learned different ways to use my hands or to handle different tools and different quicker ways, faster, as I've developed those things, I can sort of apply it to spiritual understanding and how people think a little bit, like we all can.
Okay. So why exactly? So it seems like you disagree with the Jesus probably didn't exist. Why do you think that Jesus did exist?
Funny thing is, I think he does exist because as a young kid, I didn't say he didn't exist. In some degrees, I did, but I do know, like, throughout history, it's recorded that a Jesus figure of some sort, and I don't, some people don't like shortening Jesus's thing to a man, but it's pretty good. Like, it's in the Quran and other stuff, and if you're privy to the knowledge, like like MIT and all these other people and historical people working in those things, or even if you're in a trade, you get all the trade secrets. And some, like, you talk to a common person that might not be a welder, or might not be an investment rep, or might not, they know of it because they're not stupid. Anyone's not stupid in the sense that I'm saying, but I mean, like, the reason I believe Jesus exists is, I guess, this isn't how you're supposed to preach Jesus, but I was given evidence, and it was a long time ago, so I'm trying to bring it up, I guess.
Totally. I mean, I understand it. Like, I understand that anecdotal reasons can be very powerful. Yeah. I understand that emotional reasons can be very powerful, but I guess because of my engineering background, if you don't know, I'm a Godless engineer. I have a very strong engineering. Like, I have a very strong engineering background, so I'm very analytical about these things. So if you can give me some, like, very concrete reasons as to why I should believe that Jesus either existed or that Jesus was like a real person that gave us like some kind of salvation for our sin after life, or anything like that, I would love to hear it.
Okay, well, I will give you the secret. The law is, and this is a law that's not like a human law, it's like some spiritual, ever forgiving, non reproving, non judgmental law. It's supposed to be by the power of God and not by the wisdom of, I guess people say man or knowledge or stuff. So I guess I'm trying to pull that up, but I like using connecting. But so basically, I don't have the evidence, but I'm saying like I guess I could do it a regular way if that's fine.
The Bible says, lean not on your. The Bible says to lean not on your own understanding. I understand what you're trying to say, but it doesn't. That doesn't help anything, because when you don't lean on your own understanding, you begin to make false beliefs and false claims. And when you make false beliefs and false claims, you begin to follow by faith, which is dangerous because
Yeah,
it's
but I still like those things. They're good, right? They're
no,
good.
no, those are bad things. Those are very
Well,
bad things, because then you follow
I know
blindly, which can lead you
I
to
know that.
destruction.
Yes,
So,
you're right.
so yes, we shouldn't lean on our own understanding, but at the same time, yes, we very well should, because our own understanding is going to tell us what the truth is when the truth presents itself.
True,
Yeah,
but I
so-
mean, sometimes
Sorry, I'm wanting to know why Jay Baston's here, like believes in Jesus or believes in God or anything like that. So I get what Assassin's saying, but like, I guess I'm more curious as to what convinces you there, Jay.
good point. Crap. Well, I guess I know all the stuff to say, but to answer your question, I believe what I believe because I guess that's because my conscience has always been working or geared or maintained or helped towards that way, because I live in Holland, Michigan, which is a very, very good overall Dutch Christian place. And so common grace and certain things like that have been rooted in me, even rooted in me. So I guess that's why I believe in what I believe. Plus, like the basic stuff, even if you just, everyone knows to be good towards each other to some degree, even if it's completely different, but there's always a better way to have mutual love, I guess. I don't know, which is not the best thing to say at the moment.
No, I mean, so I guess I get that you're very conscious of other people in your life, and that you're really trying your best to be a good person. Like I get that, and I know that most Christians out there are trying to be the best that they can. So I mean, I'm not chastising you for that. I'm just this live and like generally my presence on social media is about like, why I believe the things that I believe. And so like, I'm trying to get to the best, and the most accurate version of reality that I can. So that's all that we're trying to do here, like both Assassins and Jack here that's in my life. Like we're all just trying to understand the best way that we can. And we just don't see a reason why we should believe in like the Jesus version of God and everything. So
could we talk about semi-automatic rifles?
Maybe in a different life. I am trying to get this, keep this hyper focused on like religion and specifically Christianity. So I will definitely consider a live in the future where we talk about like those particular issues, especially in America.
Okay.
But for right now, we're just trying to focus on whether like on the religious aspect.
All right. All right. Could I say one more thing before I?
Yeah, I definitely will give you the last word. I try to always give everybody the last word so that you don't feel like we're trying to trample on top of you or anything. So, like, if you want to give your last word or whatever, whatever, and then we'll move on to our next guest.
All right, thank you. Something that I was shown for the Columbine situation was seeing those kids and seeing society and seeing the school and seeing the protection through different lights, lenses, and ways of thinking. I saw those kids as how they were portrayed in the news. I saw those kids as shunned kids with quote unquote poor familial cohesiveness. I saw those kids as the bully and being bullied. Plus, we're all in school, so we have some degree of understanding of that stuff. But in my mind, and I tend to side with like really good teachers and really good teachings that I learned was like in most of the schools, all of the teachers that I had tried to get every kid to participate and happy, and they knew just because they grew up that way. I guess I got all those teachers that were like that to help every kid, and the kid that's down and out, you still help them whether they're divorced or they're going through certain familial situations that somewhat cannot be seen or known, but some people know it. So like I was thinking about for what was given to us as kids is like they said, give more resources to schools so they have stuff to do, give more resources to teachers so they're not ignoring kids, give more stuff so everyone can afford to go on the trips, can afford to be participatory, and then like the whole societal thing, behavioral things for families. And that's why like food stamps and all resources would take less stress off families, even if their parents are outright criminals or their parents are just having a hard time because they're trying to change their lives or like normal, like just regular family stuff. Sometimes I feel like rather than, well, I mean, everyone should follow their religion, but rather than banning religion or banning guns, we should just help people so they don't necessarily ever even have a inclination to want to retaliate or do stuff like that, I guess. That's all I have. It's good.
I would just say that also comes down to, like human like morality and stuff like that, which we've been kind of evolutionarily gained through all this time of, I know how it is to step on a rock, so I'm gonna, clear the road and make sure someone else doesn't step on a rock type of deal. But hey, if believing in God and Jesus helps you, that's good,
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Yeah, so I appreciate you, Jay, and I hope that you'll request up again soon.
All right, thank you very much, guys, and thank you, Godless or Enigma, and everyone else.
No problem.
All right, heathens. Well, I'd love to know what you thought down below. Do you think that everybody forms their own truth and it's just everybody's own particular brand of truth? Do you think that's a reasonable conclusion? Or do you think something else? Let me know down below in the comments. And while you're down there, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.